What's up, family, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back. And as you guys can see, so today it is story time, and I'm going to be sharing my story about how I almost got kidnapped, and it was just by the grace of God who saved me, and the main reason also I want to share this story is because I believe that it's in perfect alignment with the two videos that I've shared in the past 2 weeks, which is how to hear the voice of God and how to discern if a spirit is of God or not, and also I believe I'm at a much better space to tell my story. And yeah, so let us get into the video. So this was the year 2018, and I was a project manager for an organization on campus. So basically our beneficiaries were like crafters. So whether you are a fashion designer, you are a painter, you are a bead worker, a plumber, we worked with you. So as in our project, we implemented programs and workshops, to help them with financial management, business management. So we provided financial literacy and business models, business plans, and all of those things, so those are the people that we were working with. So I just want to fast forward. I went out with my friend. I was having a conversation with this guy. So he told me that he was a fashion designer and he had a boutique. So then I'm like, okay, can we exchange digits? Because we work with beneficiaries that are similar to you, so I'd like it to also be part of our programs. And yeah, so we then exchanged digits. And I think this was on a Friday or a Saturday. Then fast forward Monday, he asked to see me. And that time, I had a lot of boundaries. I just didn't invite strangers to my place. I didn't want people in my space, basically, and especially if you're a stranger and I didn't know you. So I did agree to meet up with him, but in his car, right? And he drove, it's a Renault, some 2005 2004 old Renault car. And yeah, which was very, very dirty. It wasn't in a good state, basically, so yeah, I offered to see him, and we went into his car, and yeah, we had conversations. He would tell me things like he changes his car every after 3 months. He told me things like the bank wants him to come and take loans because he's got so much money in his bank account and stuff like that, and then also he would ask me, what do I want, what do I like, and yeah. And I don't know, I think for me, I don't know if it's a strength or a weakness, but I'm such an open book to an extent where I feel like I overshare. Especially you can't be sharing your whole life story to strangers because you never know people's intentions. So I basically gave him my life story. I was like, I love God, I'm a born again Christian, this is what I'm studying, this is what I want. And yeah, so he listened. And also when I had to ask him what does he do, he told me that he's also born again. He's also a Christian, and he's an athlete and he plays soccer. So, and I also told him that I wanted to lose weight, so then he's like, no, you know what, he should take me jogging to Naval Hills. And yeah, since I want to lose weight, so maybe that'd be the perfect way to start just jogging and running and exercising there. And yeah, so basically also because we're in the car, then he's like, no, we shouldn't be in the car since you want to lose weight, basically, so let's get out the car and take a walk. So we did take walks, and have conversations. Then we fast forward to the next day. He fetched me. Then he fetched me. We went to Naval Hills and we exercised. And also when we went there, it was like the security guards knew him, they knew he was like a regular. So this is what he actually did. He exercised there, basically. So everything was good. I think I exercised with him for 2 days. Then on my third day, I fell sick, so I caught the flu, and basically I just wanted to rest, right? So I didn't go exercising. Then fast forward, I think it was a Monday or a Tuesday. He offered to come and fetch me because I had psychology classes that ended at 8 o'clock. So then he offered to come and fetch me around 8. So fine, I agree. And he doesn't come, so I wait for him for close like 10 minutes, for good 10 minutes. Then I see that he's not coming, and I'm trying to call him, he's not answering his phone. So I'm just like, you know what, let me just start walking. And I start walking, and I get to my place, because from campus to my place was like 10 to 15 minutes. So then I walk, I get to my place, and as I'm about to open the gate, he comes with his car, and then now I'm a bit frustrated. I'm just like, you said you were going to come fetch me, you didn't come fetch me. So now, I'm irritated, I'm frustrated. So we going back and forth, and he's apologizing, but all of those things. And I'm like, okay, no, it's fine. Then he's like, he wants to come in my place. Then I'm like, but I told you my place is out of bounds, just as your place is also out of bounds. I'm not going to come and visit you, vice versa. I don't want you to come and visit me. Then he gets a bit irritated. Then he starts saying things like, it's not like I'm going to have sex with you. It's not like I'm going to touch you. Then in my head, I remember it's like, it's not even about that, but it's just mainly about, I don't want a stranger in my place. It's all about my boundaries, and how I feel safe around someone. Until I feel safe around you, then I will invite you. But at this point, we're only getting to know each other, and I think it's best if we just meet in the car. And he's just like, no, he's tired of being in the car, he's tired of sitting. So yeah, he just wants to come in. And then at that point, I really didn't want him to come in, but also I was very hungry. I just had a class, and I was hungry, and it was cold. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, fine, then you can come in as I make myself some food. Then he comes in, he sits on the bed. So my place, because I was in a commune, right? It had like I was at the back room cottage, right? So basically it's like a 1-bedroom type of thing. You've got your bed, you've got your little mini kitchen there, and your bathroom the other side. So yeah, he sits on the bed, and I make myself some food. And yeah, I tried to offer him food. Then he's like, he's on a diet, he's not eating what I eat. So I'm like, okay, sharp. And I'm eating, right? And as I'm eating, he's like, come closer to me. So there's a distance between him and I, because he's like on the other end of the bed, and I'm like on the other corner, like, of the bed. Then he's like, no, I should come closer to him. Then I'm like, no, I'm not. So then we start arguing about that. Then he's like, no, you don't trust me, you don't want to come closer to me, all of those things. I'm just like, but you don't also respect my boundaries. And also we had conversations where he would tell me that his woman, he doesn't want his woman to show her body. She can't show cleavage, she can't show her legs, she can't show her shoulders, and all of those things. And I remember us having like an argument, because I'm like, I don't believe in that. I feel like women should be liberated, and I believe a woman should wear whatever she feels comfortable in. And I told him, like, as a man, you can't be dictating over a woman's body because it doesn't belong to you. So we started like arguing with that too. Then he got very, very angry. Like, I can't explain. I've never seen someone change within that split second. It was like, we were just talking, he changed, even his skin tone, because he was a darkie, but he turned gray, guys, like turned gray, and his eyes just were like ruby red. They were like blood red. Then he's like, he doesn't like arguing with me, I like arguing. And yeah, then he's like, he wants to leave. So now in my head, I'm just like very, very confused. I'm like, what are we fighting about actually? And I was very confused. I'm just like, if you respect me, you will respect my boundaries, you will respect my space, and you will respect whatever I say. You are in my place, so it's my rules. At the same time, I'm just like, this is my view on, I don't believe that a man should dictate on a woman, right? And I mean, we are free. We're supposed to do what we want to do, you know. And yeah, he changed. Then he's like, he wants to go. Okay, I open the door for him. He gets out. I open the gate. And by the way, when he gets out, he doesn't even look at me. He doesn't even say goodbye. He just storms out the gates, gets in his car, and he drives off with the speed of 180. Washaya khona ngo 180 lapha. So in my head, I'm just like very, very shocked. I'm like, yo, okay. Then I get back in my place. As I'm getting back, around like after 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, he calls me. When he calls me, he's like, let's take a long drive. So now in my head, I'm thinking, you are just angry. You just turned blood red, or I just turned blood red here, and all of a sudden now you want to take a long drive. And it was how he said it, you know. So something was deposited in my spirit. Same time, God is like, pray. Then I start praying. You know, I just start praying. I ask for the blood of Jesus to cover me. I ask for his protection. You know, at that time, it's like I'm warned about something bad is about to happen. But at the same time, it's like I'm going there. It's like I know something bad is about to happen, but I'm still going. So I just start praying. I'm like, God, there's just something in my spirit that doesn't sit well with me. So please protect me. So after like maybe 5 minutes, he's parked outside. He calls me. He's like, I'm outside. Sharp. I get out the house, and at this time now, because I'm aware that something is not right, so I take down his number plate. I get down and I sit in the car. So now, sitting in the car, now there's another fight. Because now he wants me in his place, and I'm just like, I am not doing that. You know, so now we're fighting back and forth, keeps on saying that I don't trust him and all of those things. And yeah, and as we having this young argument, a car comes, right? And as it comes, it was some black, the black car, no number plates, and yeah, it comes and it drives past us. It drives past us, right? And then it just in a slow motion type of thing, you know, in the movies, like in a slow motion, and then it makes a U-turn, and then it comes park right behind us. So now I'm panicking. It's like I'm just like, oh my God, what is about to happen? So I'm panicking. I'm like, can you just please drive? Can we just maybe talk in a public space? Like there's a place in Bloemfontein called Tourism Center. I'm just like, can we just please park there and talk? Because right now I don't feel safe. Then he laughs and he's like, why don't you feel safe? I'm like, I don't trust the car behind us. And then he's like, why don't you trust the car behind us? I'm like, firstly, it's a dodgy car, no number plates, and it's parking right behind us. Then he starts telling me that, no, what if it's one of the girls in the house who they have someone who's going to see them, you know, or it's one of their boyfriends. I'm like, listen, I know each and every girl in the house, and none of the girls are dating anyone with such a car, you know. And yeah, then he's like, no, I should not worry and everything, you know. Within a minute, guys, this guy parking behind us, the guy comes out of the car, right? When he comes out of the car, he's carrying a gun. And I remember that time, you know, when your life is just flashing right before your eyes, like now you're just like, oh, what am I doing? Because I'm just like, I knew something better was going to happen. Now I'm seeing this thing happening right in front of my eyes, you know, when you're just like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? So this guy comes with a gun. Now he's pointing, he's coming for the driver, right? He's pointing at the driver. So I'm telling the driver, please drive. So it's funny because he didn't want to drive, you know, and that's when I knew something is wrong. But he was chilled, basically. It's like he knew what was happening, you know. So I'm just like, please drive, please drive. And by the grace of God, he drove off. And as he's driving now, he can't even drive, he can't even change gears and all of those things. And within, guys, 30 seconds after that incident happened, he receives a phone call, and it's a private number. So I'm telling him, I'm like, please answer the phone call. He's like, no, I'm not going to answer it. No, I'm not going to answer it. So in my head, what I'm thinking is maybe that guy in that dodgy car was calling him to say, dude, what did you do? You messed up the whole plan. He was not supposed to drive. So basically now he can't change out the gears, and I'm just like, no, dude, take me to tourism center. And yeah, then he takes me to tourism center. And then also on our way to tourism center, he's like, no, since you don't feel safe, let's go to my place. Now we also still fighting about the same thing. I'm like, I'm not going to your place, just take me to a public place, it's fine. And what I believe what's supposed to happen on that night, I believe, because it was just one guy, who had the gun and then coming towards him and pointing the gun towards him. I believe he was supposed to get out the car. Then this guy with the gun gets in the car, drives off with me. Then he goes back into that dodgy car and, drives off. Then it was going to be like I was kidnapped and he knew nothing about this. So his name was just going to be clean. Right, it was going to look like they tried to hijack his car, and I was in it, and then they drove off with me. So it was just by the grace of God. I don't know, if it hadn't been for the Lord who was on my side, I wouldn't be here, because I believe that today, on that day, it was going to be a different story, because I don't know if I was going to be killed. I don't know if maybe I was going to be part of organ or human trafficking. I was going to be a sex slave. I know nothing, so it was God's grace that saved me, God's blood that covered me, and till today I thank the Lord. And as I look back, the signs were always there, the type of car he drove. He said he had money in his bank accounts, but you don't know where he was getting his money from, right? So the bank now is calling him because he has money. But the type of car that he's driving, then he tells me he's changing his car after 3 months, after 3 months. Do you understand? And there was just a lot of red flags. He got very, very angry, and when I didn't agree with him, he turned blood red or blood maroon, I don't know what you call it, so there were a lot of red flags. He was such a listener. He wanted to make me feel as comfortable as possible, so I also thank the Lord for studying psychology and criminology, with social work, because when I look back, I believe, when you look at routine, because when someone wants to do something, they have to first study you. So I saw that maybe, he studied me. He knew that I had late classes. He knew that I liked meeting up with him in the car because I had boundaries in the house. So he had studied me. He knew that I wanted to exercise. So he made me feel comfortable first. So when something has to happen, it was like I wasn't going to see, I wasn't going to notice. But I thank God, because for the voice of God, because I could have not prayed that night when God said I must pray. So it was like that still small voice in me with my conscience. It was like, can you pray? And I believe till today it was my prayers that saved me. Because if maybe happened that I didn't pray, I don't know what would have happened to me. So I thank God. I thank that I listened to God when he said pray. There was some urgency in my spirit. And to show you guys that something was supposed to happen on that night, the following day, my mom called me. So my mom and I, we have that type of relationship. When I was back in varsity, where I would just call her 15 when I wanted money, and type of thing, so she wasn't someone who checked up on me. My dad used to be the one who checks up on me on a regular basis. So on that day she called me, I legit just was filled with tears, because I was like, what if she called and she didn't get an answer because something had happened to me, so I just want to thank God. This is my story, this is my testimony. Guys, when he speaks, sometimes you pray for something, but you don't know, Auntie, you don't know when you're praying it's going to save you, that prayer is going to save you, and just to discern the spirits, going back to my previous video, is, a spirit of God, he doesn't rush you into things. The fact that this man was rushing me to go to his place, rushing me to get into my place, there was just a lot of rushing. It's not a spirit of God. It is not a spirit of God. And yeah, I'm here today. I am sharing the story. And yeah, I've healed from it, because I can't lie to you, there was a bit of fear, because the following day, as he called me, now he's angry. He's angry. Why am I not taking his calls? He's angry at the fact that I think that he had something to do with this, and he was blaming me, saying they wanted to hijack his car. In my head, I'm thinking, you are the first person who didn't want to drive when this person came with the gun. And at the second time, you look at it, you're like, but what, the car that you're driving, who would want to steal a Renault 2005 or 2004? That's very dirty. It's not even in good condition. I mean, but anyway, so there was just a lot of like red flags and everything. And yeah, I deleted his number, blocked him, and all of those things, and I also changed my routine. It's very, very important. After that incident, I knew that this person had studied me. So psychology classes that I had at night, I changed them. I went to the ones during the day. Also, I started hanging around when I walk. I started walking with like a lot of people in crowds, and also just had to have like a young disguise type of thing, so you are not as noticed. And to change my routes, I felt like that was very, very important. So that is my story, and I'd just like to thank God from the bottom of my heart. He saved me. And yeah, so I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please do give it like a thumbs up, a like, a comment, a share, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.